been upstairs yet? Yeah. Been upstairs for dinner yet?
No, in general.
You are 22nd.
Why are we culturally?
See what
Sorry, which cameras?
Oh, the ones on.
Oh, didn't see it.
So I've done other big territories. I'm helping on the team to do
At the retreat. Oh, right. Well,
questions.
yeah.
Jobs.
What you'll be delegating. I remember you trying to help me with something. Ruth did it on her laptop, so I was lucky thanks to her. Oh, it's approved.
Well, actually, there's a few moments, but it's almost.
How many really retreats already?
It'll be about 110 at any one time, yeah. But there's the first and the last 5, so it's, there's like, come and go. Yeah, I think it's about 50 people that are doing all 10 days, and then like maybe 50 and 50.
Either side?
Yeah, something like that. It sounds like a lot, but it's a pretty big place.
I thought it'd be more actually.
It can fit, I think the maximum they can fit is something like 300.
Really?
But that means that people are doing camping
Oh,
and stuff. Yeah.
how many acres are?
Actually, it's pretty big. The grounds are pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been to the trust? A few other trusts.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when it was water hoard. Yeah.
I think that's much nicer than the trust.
I remember when they had the round barn shrine.
Yeah, that was ages ago. Yeah.
Okay, good. So coming in. So we're a bit bunched up, so you might want to grab your mats and spread out into the corners. We're going to start with the lying down meditation. So if you grab your mats and cushions, spread yourselves out a little bit more, and we can do some lying down meditation. Actually, yeah. Actually, don't lie down just yet. We're just going to salute the shrine first. But get your place ready. That's good. That's good. Please get your place ready. Spread out. Right. Back. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah. So just get your places ready. It's great to see you all again and put you back in the shrine room. As soon as you're back in the room, you can just relax. You're home. You know, turn your phone off. Okay, good. So, yeah, this evening we're looking at, if you were here last week, you'll know that we were looking at a particular text to help us meditate a bit deeper, and we'll be carrying on looking at that text, just a few lines from it. But we'll start off by saluting the shrine, just as a way of reminding ourselves of our goals, to reach our full potential, live by the truth, and in a particular community. So we'll do a call and response. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Dhammaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namah.
Om.
Om.
Ba. Hum. Okay, very good. So before we even start to meditate, to turn our minds to the truth, to reality, we need to relax, come back to ourselves. So we'll do that by starting off with a lying down meditation to help us settle. So if you want to set yourselves up for that, you can move, point your feet towards the door. And spread out a bit if you want. You don't need to be. You can be close, but you don't have to be that close. You might want to come away from the door. Sorry, people might. Why don't you come here? So just starting to settle. As soon as we lie down, already coming into contact again with our mind, with our body sensations, our direct experience. And just checking to see whether that's uncomfortable or comfortable, or somewhere in between, or a mixture. Checking how we are right now, at this moment, at this time. Choosing to turn towards it. It's okay, it's just our experience. And it's changing all the time. Right, I want to start with a few deeper breaths. Particularly a sense of letting go of any tension on the out breath. So it's like with each out breath, we're calming down the body. Calming down the mind. Just letting ourselves breathe naturally. Allowing the ground to take our weight. And with each out breath, sinking deeper and deeper into the ground. Aware of the sensations in the feet, on the ground. The texture of the ground. coming into contact with our belly. Often we hold tension in the belly. Just imagining any tension releasing, feeling for any effect. Particularly noticing the breath just below the belly button. The rise and fall of the belly. Aware of the breath in the spine as it lengthens and shortens with each breath. Shoulder blades widening and contracting. Allowing the shoulders to drop down to the floor. Aware of any sensations in the hands, temperature, tingling. You can even imagine that you're breathing through your hands. attention to our brow, softening the brow and the eyes, releasing any gripping in the jaw. And just for the last few minutes, coming right up close to the chest area, following the breath in the body. Just aware of the whole body breathing. Broadening out your awareness to include the sounds in the room. Sense of other people in the room. In a few moments we're going to be moving on to our side, our left hand side facing the shrine. Just see if even that's introduced any tension into the body. Letting that go and keeping the thread of mindfulness as you roll over onto your left hand side and resting there for a few minutes facing the shrine. Okay, and when you're ready, moving into your seated posture, sitting comfortably. I'll say a few things and then we'll meditate. Okay, good. So just sitting comfortably for maybe a couple of minutes. I'll say a few things and then we'll do the Metta Bhavana meditation. And just making sure you've got what you need, you've got enough cushions, you're comfortable. Good. So yeah, for this session this evening, I want us to imagine that it is possible for us to attain Buddhahood, enlightenment. That we don't just have to be stuck with all our self-preoccupation, our suffering, our worries. That it is possible to move towards another type of consciousness, a new type of consciousness that goes beyond, in a sense, all of our own suffering and frees us from our suffering and opens up a new world for us that's full of energy, love, freedom, and wisdom. That's what we have to do, I think, if we want to go deeper in meditation, is we have to imagine that that's possible. Because how we imagine the world affects our mind. And of course, as we grow older, as we get older, we become naturally a bit more cynical, a bit more threatened by the world, and we imagine ourselves as just this, like almost like a computer in a box, and we just have to do a particular technique in meditation to go deeper, and that will work. But unfortunately, our minds don't work like that. Our minds are much more organic and natural and mysterious, and we need to imagine our minds as in a different way if we're going to meditate and if we're going to go deeper. We need to imagine actually that Buddhas exist, because if you think about it, if we want to believe ourselves that we can make progress, we have to believe that other people in the world have actually made progress, have moved towards Buddhahood. So we have to imagine that Buddhas really exist in the world, so that we too can imagine that we can do it. And how we imagine, as I say, how we imagine the world affects our mind, affects our meditation. Of course, when we're children, we don't really think we're just naturally much more imaginative, aren't we? We're just naturally much more open to the world being alive, the universe is alive, and we're more naturally not preoccupied with ourselves or our own worries. As you know, I've told you a few times before, but I've got two nieces. Rafi has as well, he's also my brother. But we've got two nieces, and every time I go and see them, they're 6 and 4, and called Romy and Gali, and every time I go and see them, as soon as I go through the door to my other brother's house, one of them grabs me by the hand and says, let's play. I'm like, okay, what are we going to play? And she takes me into the back room, and immediately she's got a whole world imagined for us that she's just inhabiting. So immediately, you're the wizard, I'm the princess, and suddenly, for some reason, she's got all the power. That's the game she likes to play. So in this world, I can't actually leave the room, because as soon as I move, she says freeze, and then she's got the power to freeze me. So I just have to stand there like a statue for a minute. I'm like, what do I do? Just freeze. And every time then if I try and chase her, she then says freeze, and then laughs her head off at the power she's got over me. So that's the sort of game she likes to play. And in that game, of course, she's imagined a whole world where there's like force fields and powers, and I'm a wizard, and she's a princess, and that's for hers, the world she's built, if you see what I mean. So as I say, we need to sort of have our own version of that. Of course, our version needs to chime a bit more with reality than that. Of course, we don't want to. I'm not saying we need to be children, but we need to inhabit that world of our imagination, so that we're open to the possibility of our potential, of our mind, of where we can go in meditation, and particularly having the belief that there are higher states of consciousness accessible to us, and that the Dharma does work. So if we, like the Buddha, it's worked for the Buddhas, it works for us as well. So if we just apply, in the Metta Bhavana, for example, some metta, imagine metta coming towards us, and we just keep doing that, then we have to really believe that will have an effect, that will, in the end, actually take us all the way, but we just need to keep doing it. Do you see what I mean? So we have to really believe that will work, and even just believing it will have an effect. And often it doesn't feel like it's having any effect. Sometimes we're stuck in our own ruminations, our worries, our own hatreds, we're annoyed at our boss, and we should have said that thing to that person, and I wish, all of that's going on. And if you can sort of just notice that and instead think, no, there is another way. There is possible to go deeper. I just need to keep with a bit of patience, and keep doing the practice with some bit of love, a bit of patience, and look for this new world, this new type of consciousness that's already there. With that attitude, it really does work. That's what, when you get ordained, you get given a practice that sort of builds on this sort of theory, and it really does work for me. I do it every morning, actually, where I just enter this new world, and it's very, very absorbative in meditation because, I'm not as cynical as I used to be. Definitely, that's true as well. So, we can open up the world for us. And it's coming out of the reason why I'm talking like this is because last week and this week we're looking at this, this passage from the Going for Refuge verse from the puja, from the ritual, which we'll do a bit later in the second half. But what I'll do is I'll read this verse before we meditate, just so we're sort of aware of it, where it talks about going for refuge to the powerful protectors whose purpose is to guard the universe, and they overcome suffering everywhere. So all I'm saying is, can we enter a world where we believe that's possible, where there are powerful protectors who are guarding the universe, overcoming suffering, and we too can reach that state where we can also become a powerful protector for ourselves and the world. Yeah, okay, good. So let's give that a go. In the second half, I'll say a bit more about what does that mean, powerful protectors, and some of the misconceptions that can come with that, and I'll explore it. But I want us to be a bit more meditative focused in this half. So I won't say much more apart from just letting the words settle, and and see if we can do the metta bhavana in that spirit. Okay, good. Yeah, we swapped it round. Yeah. Okay, good. So in the metta bhavana, like with any meditation, it all starts with ourselves, with our body. So particularly as we're sitting down, see if you can come into contact with our body on the ground. And tuning into our heart area, the seat of our emotions. Just really seeing what happens if you can imagine that something like a Buddha does exist. So that means there is real love in the world. Love that goes beyond the ego. Goes beyond all fear and hatred. And that love is pouring down into us, into our hearts. Opening us up to more who we really are. Going for refuge. This very day I go for my refuge to the powerful protectors whose purpose is to guard the universe, the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
the metta bhavana.
as metta pours into your heart, it now pours out from your heart to your friend's heart, breaking through any barriers. Filling you with a sense of strength. All worries melting away.
the neutral stage. Staying tuned into the heart area. The enemy stage. allowing metta to affect us, breaking down any resistance. With metta flowing from your heart to theirs. final stage. Allowing metta to flow to all beings. So now starting to relax any effort that you're making, but continuing to sit still. Just absorbing the fruits of the practice. Just sitting. So just sitting comfortably. Good. So yeah, in the second half, I'd be interested to hear how you got on with that. As I said, really, for me, it felt like there was a palpable sense of concentration and metta was flowing, and it's interesting just by evoking something, our imagination, something does happen. So I want to keep exploring that in the second half, and particularly looking at what does it mean to believe in powerful protectors, because of course we're not saying it's God or anything like that, but at the same time we're not saying it's just ourselves either in the universe. And I wanted to sort of try and unpack a bit of what that means for us and our own practice, and then we'll end the class with a short ritual as well, just to sort of cement the image of our potential for our week as well as we go into the rest of the week. But that will all come in to the second half. So before that, let's have a cup of tea. Go from there.
hope my dates are right.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
We'll have to check on it.
You going on the bus?
Good. So we'll start off with a meditation straight away. So just setting ourselves up for a period of meditation. Thanks. Okay, good. So just setting ourselves up for some meditation. So we'll just do a breathing space just to help us connect back into our direct experience once again. Just doing what you need to do to settle. Letting go of any gripping, particularly in the brow, the eyes, shoulders. The hands. And the belly. Allowing the ground to take our weight. Tuning into the breath. So now starting to expand our experience to include our whole body again. Tuning into sounds in the room, outside the room. A sense of other people in the room. Good. So just coming out of the meditation and sitting comfortably. Good. Nice. Okay, good. So what I'll do is I'll say a few things and then we'll do an exercise and then we'll meditate again in the second half, and we'll finish with a short ritual as well. But yeah, I thought I'd just introduce a bit about what we've been looking at, partly because, you know, on the Wednesday night meditation class we teach Buddhist meditation, but Buddhist meditation assumes a particular understanding of the Buddhist path, and it assumes that you're sort of living, inhabiting in a particular worldview, that you've got an understanding of in a way life as Buddhism sees it, and then with that in mind then you can make more progress with Buddhist meditation, and if you wish to you can you can use the path to go deeper yourself, can't you, in your own practice, and see it more as a path of training to move towards a particular goal. That's the sort of the idea of the practice. That's been helpful for me in my life. I've definitely I felt like I needed a path and a goal to sort of move towards, and you can do, but you have to decide to do that in your own time and at your own pace, or not at all. So that's completely up to you. But as I'm saying, it's important to understand that when we teach meditation, we're teaching it in the context of almost assuming that you're up for a particular. You're up for looking at it in a particular way from a Buddhist angle and seeing if that works for you, basically. And then it's up to you to decide what to do with it. And the angle, and particularly in this ritual that we do, the sevenfold puja, it definitely evokes the Buddhist world. And in this section, the third section, it evokes a world of what's called going for refuge. So, which means turning towards a path that does work, that does give you meaning, that does give you fulfilling life, that does give you satisfaction, and that's why it's a refuge. Because Buddhism is saying that other paths, even though they might have their pros and or whatever, it's just that they don't fully work. For example, the path of just materialism, buying loads of things and nice houses, it's fine, but it just won't fulfill you completely, because everything changes and you're going to get sick one day, I'm afraid, and what about death and all of that. So money can't give us full fulfillment. It's not evil in itself, or it's fine to have a nice house to a certain extent, but it's just not going to do it for us. There's more to life than that, and it's saying that going for refuge is a way of talking about that. You have got a choice to do something that will fulfill you, and practice in a way that will fulfill you. And in this verse it says, this very day I go for my refuge. So it's saying today, right now, this moment. There isn't any other time to do it. We always think, oh, we will put it off, and when we get on retreat, then we'll practice, or maybe next year I'll resolve to practice. But actually, there might not even be a next year. There isn't even a next year. It's just a now and now and now. It's just this moment, the present. So Buddhism is saying, this very day, do it now. This is the only time you can do it. It's no good eating a big dessert saying that you're going to go to the gym tomorrow, because at that moment you're eating a big dessert. You're not going to the gym, even though you might tomorrow. At that moment you're not. So you can't justify eating the dessert based on going to the gym tomorrow. In that moment you're eating dessert. Anyway, that's what was happening for me at dinner today. But the point is that you have to decide to practice now, this very day, this moment. And it says, this very day I go for my refuge. So I, as in you, it's only us that's got the choice. No one else can do it for us. I go for refuge. So we have to take responsibility for our own minds and do it ourselves. And we go for refuge. We don't think about it. We don't believe in it necessarily. We don't, it's not I think or I believe or I trust. It's I go. It's an action. It's very pragmatic and practical Buddhism. It's just saying, I do it. I do it myself. No one else can do it for me. And I do something. I go for my refuge this very day now, because there's no other time to do it. So this very day I go for my refuge. And then it says, which is what we're doing today, I go for my refuge to the powerful protectors whose purpose is to guard the universe, the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere. Now this is interesting, isn't it? Because Buddhism isn't saying, well, definitely saying there isn't a God. God's dead, actually, according to Nietzsche, isn't it? God's dead, and it's impossible to believe in God now, isn't it, really? So there's no point even trying. And at the same time, it's saying, I go for my refuge to the powerful protectors. So it is trying to invoke something. And what it's trying to invoke is, well, you could say is the spirit of the Buddha, which is represented here. And even though the Buddha isn't a god, why the Buddha is, you could say, is a powerful protector, is because the Buddha is a symbol for the fact that we can all do it. We've all got the potential to gain enlightenment. So in a sense, the Buddha's a powerful protector because he's a reminder of the fact that we can do it ourselves, that it was possible for him. He was born as a person like we are all people, and he managed to achieve enlightenment. Other people did as well, not just the Buddha, being taught from him. And we can do it too. So in that sense, that's how the Buddha's a powerful protector. And that's how he's guarding the universe, because he's reminding us that we need to practice, we need to commit, if we want to take ourselves seriously, commit to the path, to go for refuge to what really does work in our lives. That's how the Buddha is guarding the universe for us. And that's how the Buddha, and because it's saying the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere. Now, when I first heard that, I thought of the Marvel figures, the Marvel universe. I quite like all the sort of superheroes. I used to like Superman growing up, and Batman, and because it spoke to me. There was a sort of myth in those superhero films. I don't know about you, but I really like the idea that, there was someone like Superman who sacrificed, himself and even at times his girlfriend, to sort of save the world, to help everyone, not just his girlfriend, basically. In the end, of course, he does help his girlfriend, of course, which is good. But it's the fact that he's prepared to, in a way, sacrifice what he wants for the sake of everybody else, for the sake of the world, and also he's bulletproof and all that, and he could, so that was handy, and he could fly. So I really wanted to do that, and partly that myth still speaks to me, and that's why I'm a Buddhist, I think, because The idea of being able to, in a sense, cope with anything that life throws at me, to be able to sit still like the Buddha did under the tree, where he sat under the tree where he gained enlightenment. He just sat there for 7 days, even though he was tormented by evil figures, evil demons, arrows, spears, all sorts of things. The idea of being able to sit there and just cope with anything, face anything in life, it's really been inspiring for me in my life. I've really wanted to sort of achieve that, a sense that I can build a strength, an emotional strength, a courage, and then use that to help people, to help the world. That's been a really, really important myth for me, I think, in my life. And I thought actually that if I became a doctor, then that would sort of fulfill me in that sense. And so I did actually study medicine, and I am actually a doctor. But the point is, it's not actually fully fulfilling actually for me at all. It does do something, it does help a bit, but I needed something more, a bigger vision that I think we can all ascribe to if we want to, of being able to, I don't know, a deeper vision that Buddhism gives me. I won't unpack that too much more, but it's more that I'm just saying that for me, that vision of a powerful protector, being moved by a powerful protector like the Buddha, is very, very important to me in my life, because I wanted to emulate that. And I feel like it does work. Like I do feel like the practices have given me a glimpse even of that strength and that courage and that fulfillment, which does motivate me. So that's how. What I'm trying to say is that the Buddha is only a powerful protector, and only a powerful protector who's guarding our universe to the extent that we can imagine that for ourselves. Because otherwise, if we don't, then I guess he's just a sort of golden figure up there. We need to imagine the Buddha as an enlightened, powerful protector, so that we can then relate to that, and then that encourages us on our own path. Does that make sense? That's the only way it'll activate. Because he's not actually a god, he's not going to do that for us. So you can't just sort of pray to him and petition him, and then he'll give you give you what you want. That unfortunately won't work. It'd be great if it did, but it doesn't. The Buddha's saying, in the Buddhism saying, that we have to do the work ourselves. Basically, we're responsible for our own minds, and we have to do the work, which includes keeping our inspiration alive, which includes imagining that there are powerful protectors in the universe like the Buddha that can gain enlightenment, and we can gain enlightenment too. That's actually part of the work we need to do ourselves, so that we can then inspire ourselves to keep going, even in the face of a difficult world. As I say, I'm dealing with sickness in the day myself, with patients. It's a difficult world out there. There's a lot of poverty, problems in the world, and that's just in London, which is relatively well off, and even on all different levels. You've got a benefit system, the NHS, which is brilliant, so we're lucky in a sense, and we've still got problems, but the world at large isn't as lucky even. So anyway, so the point is that we have to somehow evoke the vision, I think, this vision of enlightenment, of compassion, courage, fearlessness, energy. And the best way to do that, I think, is to sort of invoke the image of the Buddha and these powerful protectors, because you want to personify the qualities. Otherwise, it's very abstract. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. So, what I want us to do is, in a moment, is to get into pairs, and just with someone you don't know, and sort of see if you can talk about and your own relationship to your vision for your life, or your own myth in your life. So, like I was saying, I said my myth. I think my myth has always been like the myth of the hero, and can I ascribe to that in my own life and live up to that? And as I say, I've done that in various ways. What's your myth? What sort of kept you going in your life? What's really motivated you? What keeps motivating you? And can you? And what's your relationship like to, let's say, the Buddha figure, or something like powerful protectors who guard the universe. What does that mean for you? It doesn't have to be the Buddha. It could mean something else, or you can be honest and just say, like, actually, don't believe in any of that, and what's he talking about? Whatever your response is, it's just important to reflect on that yourself, and just sort of so you're aware of what's going on for you, really. But I think we probably could, if we're sort of honest with ourselves, all relate to our own personal myth. So maybe the myth of the Buddhas don't speak to us, but what's our personal myth that keeps us going? Throughout our life, and you can sort of just look back on your own life and maybe get a few clues, that you keep ending up doing particular things, don't you, or wanting to do particular things. Even the reason why you've come here, for example. So that's just interesting to explore that, I think, and that, because that in the end then, as I say, informs our worldview, and then that in a way then informs how we meditate, and how we can make progress in our meditation. So it all comes back to that. That makes sense? Okay, good. So so turn towards a person you don't know, introduce yourselves, and then one person just talks, the other one listens, then swap round. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Good. We're still going. Well, there's a lot to talk about, obviously, so that's good. Great. Good. So that was obviously stimulating discussion, wasn't it? I mean, I think it's obviously our own myth and how we relate to these images is very important, and it's a big part of practice. So that's interesting. That obviously there's a lot in there. So yeah, is anybody? We've got time maybe for a couple of people to share any reflections they had there from doing that, or share their personal myth. Maybe if you can be brave and share, or if you're on the team, you can get us going. Like Josh there at the back. Or
Should we see it? Should I get you going?
Yeah, let's get us going. Yeah, go on, Josh.
Okay, we were talking about this clash of myths between, like, I don't know, on the one hand, some kind of pull towards whatever you want to call it, meaning, truth, beauty, and then on the other, this kind of like, I guess success, obsessed ambition, and it's like, and those conflicting with each other, and then also, being hooked by the first set, and then realizing it's quite limited in like a painful way, and then almost being like forced into another way of being that we probably like know is more truthful than what we want to be doing, or I know is more truthful than what I want to be doing, but I'm also too like need to be forced into it basically. Like if I could get the first set to work, I would do it. And then I'm like forced into it. Yeah.
That's really good. Thanks for that. Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting there is that we're always living by some sort of myth, even if the myth is, as you say, worldly success, lots of money, a nice house. That's still a myth, isn't it? Because actually, money doesn't actually really exist. It's just a belief system. Money in itself, it does have real effects, of course, and you need it to some extent, but it's how much do we really believe in it, and the myth of money, for example, in that sense. And it's painful, isn't it, to realise that it's limited when we might have worked so hard to get it. And then it's also very inspiring to know there is another path. And I think at the same time. But thanks for that. That's a good reflection. Anybody else? Yeah. What's your name?
So Michelle.
Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a conversation with Hannah, and I think I struggled a bit with the word myth.
Okay.
Because in my experience, it's more about like the experience, and just like developing this awareness, which I've experienced somehow, and gets me to this place of refuge somehow. So it's not like I am wanting to like get to a level of enlightenment, but it's more about like there's this practice, there's this meditation. Somehow it's developing my awareness and my mindfulness.
Okay, yeah.
And by doing this, I'm having like positive experiences.
Right.
And like somehow understanding more. Okay. And this is enough. And as long as I can engage on this path, it is enough. And it's not like wanting to get more of it. Like.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I think that's good to say. And I think what you're saying there as well is that myth can have different meanings for us, can't it? Because myth can sound like something fake, something as well, like a myth
it's like a story, isn't it? It's not real or something like that. And then at the same time as saying you're having these real experiences of going deeper, and that's what's keeping you coming back. But I'm using it in a particular way, myth. I'm using it as a way of saying that it's almost like that's the reason that we keep coming back, or you're saying there your reason for coming back is that you're developing your awareness and you're making progress, and that's what keeps you coming back. And that's my definition of myth in that sense, is that it's almost like the reason why you keep coming, and in a way the imagine it. It's a myth because you're imagining a particular goal. Really, there you're imagining that you do want to develop more awareness. So there has to be a degree of imagination, which is why it invokes a myth. Do you see what I mean? If we didn't have any imagination, we wouldn't really be able to meditate, because you just get stuck in your own self. But a bit of imagination helps to enhance where you're going, in a sense. And then, especially like say the metta bhavana, you need to imagine other people as well, and that metta can, like we were doing in the first half, metta was, I like to imagine that it's literally coming into my heart, whatever that means, and breaking down my sort of tension, and I know it's not quote unquote real when I'm like, it's not literally coming into my heart, but it doesn't matter. It's like it feels like it's real, and that's enough. And it's not about what's real or not. Actually, the effects in the end is a realness. So you evoke a myth, and then it's like you get a real experience from that. A bit like when you go to the cinema, it's not real, but you might cry at the cinema, and that's definitely real. So it's the same sort of faculty that we're using in meditation, or laugh, or whatever it is. Anyway, that's good. All right, good. Well, just looking at time, actually, we could go on, couldn't we? But I want to move us on so we do finish with some practice. And what we're going to finish with, so thank you. And next week we're going to carry on exploring this. So if it was interesting to you, come back next week. We'll go on to the next part as well. Anyway, for now, this very day, this very moment, stay in the present. What we'll do is we'll finish with a short ritual. So I'll read the verse from the puja. So I'll do it in line by line in call and response. So if you want to, it's just an invitation. You can listen to the line, take it in, and then say it back, just as a way of engaging with it, and just to see what effect that has on us. It's like poetic language, so it's like poetry, so we sort of let the poetry affect us if we want to, and as we say it back, and then when we get to the end, I'll start us in a mantra, and that's the mantra of the Buddha, Shakyamuni, and it's just the mantra is just the sound syllable of the Buddha. And if you want to, again, you join in the mantra. And as you're joining in the mantra, it's like you're meditating on the Buddha, on your potential. So what the Buddha means for you, your highest potential. And it says that you can imagine as if the Buddha's presence, so all those qualities of enlightenment that we want to move towards in our meditation, are already present in the room when we're saying the mantra, which is it's an interesting energy when that happens. Again, using our imagination, not worrying about what's real, what's not. It's more like we're imagining that it is really happening, and then seeing that has a real effect. So we're sort of trying to get to that real effect, and then even to cement the strength of it, you can come up and make an offering where you just light a candle to your potential, to your intentions for the week. You could say to the Buddha, which represents that. And then you can just you light a candle, offer it to the shrine, you do a bow, and then you go back and sit down. That's what people do when they make offerings. So again, just to cement their intentions. And then you're left with, say, if you do that, you're left with an image then for the rest of the week of your practice, of your inspiration, something to remind you of your myth. When you do that. Okay, good. So, let's give that a go, and we'll go from there. At the end of the mantra, when it fades away, we'll just sit in silence and just taking in the atmosphere that's left until I ring a bell. Just starting off once again with our direct experience, this very day, this very moment. You can just imagine any tension releasing, particularly around the heart area. Allowing any metta to pour in. Sense of reality, how things really are. No boundaries. That sense of courage and strength that comes from that. Going for refuge in call and response. This very day, I go for my refuge, to the powerful protectors, whose purpose is to guard the universe. The mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere. Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge. In the Dharma they have ascertained. Which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth. Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas. I take my refuge. Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Shakya Muni Swaha. 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 Om Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Mini Mini Maha Mini 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 Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Mini Muni Maha Muni Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Muni 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 Muni Maha Muni Shakyamuni Swaha. leaving quietly when you're ready. Thank you for putting away the mats and cushions at the end.
Thank you.